Hi, my name is Tanbay. You may know me from my main YouTube channel, Traveling Weasels. Unfortunately, the relationship with my ex-fiancé Laura ended, and so I'm making this video as a first YouTube video on my own personal channel, TanbayTV. So if you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. If you haven't watched Laura's breakup video on the Traveling Weasels channel, make sure to check it out. It is linked below. The first important thing I learned is that love will tear us apart. And what I mean by that is that there's all kinds of love in this world, but no two kinds of love are the same. They are always different, and that's okay. As long as you don't love yourself though, nobody else can love you. It just doesn't work. And so I want to make it clear that I'm not having a go at my ex-partner or anything like that. I'm not saying that she didn't love me or anything like that. I'm not trying to start some drama crap. We're caught up in drama. Okay, I'm simply stating facts that I have learned and experienced myself. So I'm in fact saying I didn't really love myself here, okay? And this kind of brings me on to the next point. The faults you point out in others are your own faults in disguise. So people love to, moan and complain about other people, but they rarely look at themselves. And again, I was the same at the beginning, to be honest, but then as the years went by and I grew older and, a little bit wiser, if I say so myself, I started to take a long, hard look in the mirror. And I'm not sure where I found this quote actually. I think it was in a book, but I've tried to Google this, I tried to find the author. If you know who came up with this quote, make sure to comment below because I just cannot find the original author. But basically, this is a great quote that I really believe in. The faults you point out in others are your own faults in disguise. And this kind of leads me to the next point, actually, which is treat yourself the way you want others to treat you. So I've been traveling the world for many years now, and I've spoken to many people in many different countries, and the one thing that I've noticed is that people have quite a harsh self-talk. They are quite harsh with themselves many times, in fact most of the time. And this just doesn't do you any good. You wouldn't talk to your best friend like that, so why do you talk to yourself like that,
I hate you. I hate you.
And this again is connected to the next point. No one can really make you feel anything. So like I mentioned earlier, people love to complain about other people and love to blame other people. And so it's very, very important to really think about the fact that no one can really make you feel anything. It all happens inside your head. The next important thing that I learned is what's called the comfort zone. And basically what happened is I was reading a book, and I'm not affiliated with this book, okay? I'm not trying to sell you anything. I just think this book is actually really, really good. And there are basically different tools in this book, and ironically the book is called The Tools. And the first tool in this book is called the reversal of desire. And here's what it's basically about.
Most of us are like the stick figure stuck inside the comfort zone. To take advantage of the endless possibilities that life provides us, we have to venture out. The first thing we meet is pain. Without a way to get through it, we scurry back to safety. The retreat back into the comfort zone feels good in the moment, but it leaves you with the worst pain of all, the knowledge that you're wasting your life.
And this brings me to the next step, which is part of being outside the comfort zone for me, and I guess for most people. And excuse me for swearing here, but you need to be your own parents. You can only blame your parents for so long, and you can only blame others for so long. Like when you're an adult, you cannot blame, other people for your faults anymore, in my personal opinion, okay? Because it's time to be your own parents. It's time to, grow up and be an adult. And again, I'm not saying that my partner did this to me, okay? I am in fact saying that I did this to my partner, and this was a fault that I used to have, and it was damaging the relationship. And this brings me to the next stage, which is called radical forgiveness. What is radical forgiveness? It's basically a meditation by this guy that I saw on YouTube. Here's a little clip of it.
One of the biggest things these scientists found to get your brain to function like the brains of monks who have been meditating for 20 years. And by the way, that's what the hookup looks like, was this one thing. Radical forgiveness.
And again, I'm not affiliated with this person, okay? I don't know this man, but I have done this meditation many, many times, and I have forgiven myself for the stuff that I previously said in this video. And it's actually working. It is in fact very radical. So I can only recommend this meditation if you're watching this and you're into meditations. The next lesson that I learned is that there are different stages of love. And this is something that I think a person called Vanessa Van Edwards came up with. And stage 1 is basically lust, stage 2 is attraction, and stage 3 attachment. And I quickly want to point out that in stage 2, dopamine is released in our reward center of the brain and makes us feel like we are winning a prize when we are with our beloved. But in stage 3, we get something called oxytocin, which is also called the cuddle hormone, because it is released when we are touched, make eye contact, and feel connected to someone. And we also get something called vasopressin. This little chemical comes into play to help us feel long-term connection with someone and precede commitment. And so it's important to understand that there's this natural change from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3. And again, this is not set in stone. I'm not saying everyone has to experience it that way. I'm not saying that's the exact order, okay? But I'm saying, you know, having read this myself and looked at this, this was what I was experiencing, and it helped me to understand what was going on. Okay, and this then leads me to the next important lesson that I've learned. There's not only different stages in love, there's also different stages in the relationship. And again, I'm not saying this is like a template for every relationship, okay? And if you Google this stuff, there's different like numbers, but I found a good version here, and I just want to quickly read you the different stages of the relationship. So the first stage is the romance stage. Second stage is disturbance stage, then the changing stage, then the understanding stage, then the discovery stage, next is the connection stage, then the doubting stage, then the sexual stage, then the trust stage, and last but not least, the spiritual stage. And the reason I bring this up is I believe I have experienced all those stages. Now, again, I'm not saying it has to happen for everyone. I'm not saying everyone has to experience all these stages, okay? But I'm saying that because I've been in such a long relationship, I have experienced all of these stages in, you know, different orders, and some of these stages, you know, came back and stuff. And this helped me to understand my relationship and myself better. So if you want to learn more about these stages, check out the description below, because I'm gonna talk in detail about those stages down there. Okay, next up, stages of grief. Now, when your relationship ends, it's kind of like, you know, something is dying, obviously, because the relationship is in fact dead. At least the romantic relationship is dead. And so I'm including these stages of grief here. I believe therefore, you know, grieving when someone has actually passed away, but it's still useful to know if you haven't come across these before. So the stages are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. So this is something known as the Kübler-Ross model, and if you want to learn more about that, I will link to the official Wikipedia page below this video. Okay, so as my relationship was coming to an end, I was obviously, you know, very confused, shocked, sad, and all these things. And I was trying to learn a lot about, you know, love and the psychology and the philosophy. And I came across something that was really moving, and it's a letter by Albert Einstein about the meaning of love. Now, I've done a lot of research, and it turns out this letter wasn't really written by Albert Einstein, okay? Someone else has written this. It wasn't Einstein. That's clear now. It definitely wasn't Einstein. But this letter is amazing. It's so amazing that I want to read this to you, actually, in case you never heard it. And it goes like this. There is an extremely powerful force that so far science has not found a formal explanation to. It is a force that includes and governs all others. It is even behind any phenomenon operating in the universe and has not yet been identified by us. This universal force is love. When scientists looked for a unified theory of the universe, they forgot the most powerful unseen force. Love is light that enlightens those who give and receive it. Love is gravity because it makes some people feel attracted to others. Love is power because it multiplies the best we have and allows humanity not to be extinguished in their blind selfishness. Love unfolds and reveals. For love we live and die. Love is God and God is love. This force explains everything and gives meaning to life. This is the variable that we have ignored for too long, maybe because we are afraid of love, because it is the only energy in the universe that man has not learned to drive at will. So again, the reason I find this is so important is because I don't think people are sure what love actually means. And like I said previously, there's all kinds of love, but no two are the same, meaning everyone understands something slightly different when it comes to love. I mean, you can look at the official definition on the internet, okay, which basically says that it's an intense feeling of deep affection, which is a good description, but this letter, you know, basically is a little more accurate if you ask me. And again, this letter really helped me with understanding what love really is and what I want from life and what I want from love and etc. So if it helps you, let me know in the comments below. And this brings me to the last life lesson that I learned. It's never too late to walk away. So I was in this relationship for a long time, obviously, and I was always thinking that, man, I'm so proud of being in this, you know, long relationship with this amazing woman. I'm so happy, etc. And I was so happy. But as time went by, we basically, you know, stopped being lovers and started being best friends, you know. And there's a big difference between lovers and best friends. And I hope I made this clear in this video, especially by reading the love letter just then. But basically, what I'm saying now is I am, you know, best friends with my ex-fiancé, but we're just not in love anymore. And I understand that there are different stages of love and there are different stages of a relationship, but there should still be this, you know, this spark, this energy, you know, this feeling. And it's just not there anymore, and it was very hard to admit, and it's very hard to admit that, you know, on a YouTube video, for God's sake, especially when we had a channel together. So we had this Traveling Weasels YouTube channel together for years now. We still have this now, and we've decided to upload separately on there, which is actually quite interesting. Because I don't think it has been done like this before, where a couple had a channel together on YouTube and then ended the relationship but kept the channel going from separate points of view. So if you want to follow that, make sure to subscribe to Traveling Weasels. Again, it's linked below this video. But yeah, if you want to follow my channel as well, make sure to subscribe to this channel as well. That's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to my channel, subscribe, come back for the next video soon. And if you have been in a relationship, or if you're currently in a relationship, let me know your thoughts on this. Or if you've ever been through a tough breakup, or any breakup really, let me know that in the comments below as well. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And I want to say thank you so much for all, you know, friends, family and fans from Traveling Weasels, for all the support during this tough time. It's been, you know, quite challenging, obviously, for Laura and for myself. So once again, thank you all.